Welcome to the SIC Afterlife with Annley Lucas.
All right, guys, welcome. As we just announced, this is the SIC Afterlife with Annley Lucas. I am your host tonight, and this is our first episode with all of the wonderful things behind me. We've got our border, we've got my background, I have a microphone, there's no feedback. It's so much better than last time. So we are super excited to be doing the show tonight. I've got a couple of awesome guests and a lot of really cool events that we're going to be talking about. But before we get started with all of our upcoming events, I want to talk a bit about our Malvern Manor weekend. I'm going to be bringing on Johnny Hauser here in a few moments. He actually joined us at Malvern Manor for our event this last weekend, and it was a great experience. For those of you that don't know, Malvern Manor is out in Iowa, and it's very close to Johnny Hauser, so he spent quite a bit of time out there. After we have Johnny Hauser on, we're going to have the one and only Doogie from TWC. We're going to be talking a little bit about our upcoming event in Crown Point, Indiana on World's Largest Ghost Hunt Day. So let's go ahead and get Johnny on. Here he comes.
Oh,
It's so adorable. Isn't it so adorable?
me with my giant pink unicorn on location in my daughter's room right now. So
I can't even tell you guys apart. It's just it's fluffy and adorable all around.
hey, it just fits. I thought it fit the shot, and it made sense to me right now. So we're getting the unicorn.
Quite okay. And you just threw the unicorn. Is that animal? It's not a real animal?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
All right. So you said you're live from your daughter's bedroom. I am so glad you could join us tonight.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's the only quiet place in my whole house. So
I feel you. I'm currently in somebody else's house and in their basement.
see, that's what we got to do. We need offices. We need to make they need to be paying us the big bucks so we can have these fancy offices with like awesome backdrops. I want a globe right here, just a globe of the earth.
Occasionally spin and look like you're well traveled.
Yeah, yeah. Nice leather chair and a pipe and a globe behind me. That would be awesome.
Ooh, leather.
Yes.
All right. So, speaking of being well traveled, I just spent 8 hours in a car each way heading out to Malvern Manor, and we got to spend it with you. Thank you for that. That was fantastic. I feel like we had a great investigation.
Yeah, it was a good time, and good group of people. The people that came and bought tickets and showed up, and like everybody experienced something. Everybody had a really good personal experience, and that's pretty unheard of.
Yeah, I feel like everybody got to experience something a little bit different. Now, what did you personally get to experience? Because I only got to spend a little bit of our night with you. We were so busy in so many different directions.
Oh man, we had just trying to think top of my head. There's so much. A lot of really good interaction with the Geoport and also with the Spiritus app. We got touches, we got footsteps. I'm trying to think. After a while, it just kind of all blurs together. There's just so much happening all at once. I don't think I could pinpoint it to just one thing.
I know, like, when I was out with a couple of different people, we got cold spots, we got weird smells, we had whispers coming out of corners that nobody was in. It was very, very bizarre for us. I just feel like that's an incredibly active location, and now having visited there, I can feel like I confirm that's a very active location.
One of my favorites, we were in Inez's room, and the REM pod was going off. And we were kind of saying, if this is really you, like, please do it one more time, and with a countdown, and it went off again, and just stuff that was really kind of validating.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we tried a couple different experiments throughout the night. We had a lot going on with the REM pod. We had a lot going on with our pyramid upstairs in the attic. I know we also got you to try the Estes method. What did you think of that?
I love it. I love those kind of weird experiments. I mean, that's the stuff I live for. I love that there's weird people in weird locations every weekend doing weird things, experiments, because that's how we step forward. We don't know much of anything at all right now. We got to keep trying this odd stuff. And, there were for a while, mine was just doing nothing. It's just static and very obvious radio station music. But then there were a couple things that added up, my response and Johnny's response. So, that was pretty interesting to me for sure.
Yeah, and that always feels very validating when you do get those things that are very clearly not paranormal, and then you get those couple of unexplainable items when you're doing a method like that, and that kind of just helps you feel more sure in your response that this could be something.
Yeah, I would rather do weird experiments like that with multiple people than the normal make a knocking noise. I think that that's furthering our studies for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. I know we definitely try and get a bunch of different experiments in as the night goes on. I mean, there's only so much that we can do with a singular type of EVP session. So we bring a lot of like ITC into it. And we'll try some old school stuff. Like I know we got you to try the dowsing rods, and that was your
Yeah.
first time using them.
Very
What'd you
first
think?
time, I realized, well, the first time when it said to cross, I mean, I physically felt them, crossing. They got the little sleeve in the handle, so it's like I'm not manipulating it whatsoever, but I felt the pull of them crossing, and that kind of set me back for a little bit. It's like, that really happened. But then I think some people got it and some don't, and I have retired from my dowsing career.
Oh, no more?
I'll try it again a couple times, but I don't know. I don't think the dowsing rods like me, or maybe I'm just impatient. I don't know.
See, and I thought you did very well. Like one of the biggest things that we've seen in the past is being able to like control your wrists. If you got a shaky wrist at all, you're going to get a false reading. And I thought you did
Mhm.
awesome. So that was really cool to get to see you try that out.
Well, maybe, with more training, and I'll fast for 30 days, and then I'll just beat myself in the face with dowsing rods and become one with the rods. And then
Get
spend
your own
a
set,
month, I'll spend a month in the woods and really, hone it
meditate
in.
with them.
Yes, exactly.
So where do you think our most active spot was on that investigation night? Because I know we got so much in so many different places.
For me personally, upstairs in the attic seemed to, you
Yeah.
know, for sure the attic for me.
I don't think like even me as an empathic person, I definitely felt some negative vibes, but I don't think you had to be empathic to get that negative vibe that room was throwing off. Everybody that walked up there, especially alone, was getting that sense.
Oh yeah, and stuff was happening elsewhere, but it was just kind of like when we went up there, it was just immediately on, and there was hardly any coaxing that had to been done. It was just like ready for us.
Yeah, that was something that I was very eager about from the moment that we got there, and I got that vibe. I know I talked to you and Josh a little bit on that previous interview that we did at Malvern about how I was feeling about it, and you guys said, "Yeah, it's just a shoot in the dark, but a lot happens there."
For sure. Never the attic has never disappointed me.
So, when are you going back to Malvern?
I will be in Malvern August or October 19th with Elizabeth Saint um, for. Oh, there's so many other guests. I'm drawing a blank right now.
But you're the most
Godwin's.
important one.
Hey, yeah. Well, thank you, Elizabeth, Godwin, Madison, Charla. There's just going to be a ton of awesome people. It's going to be a really fun event. I'm looking forward to it for sure. I don't know. I think Malvern's so close, and Josh is my buddy, so it's I'll slip over there random times. Sometimes we just hang out over there without ghost hunting. We just have some. It's like Malvern Manor is an awesome haunted location, but also like the man cave for us. So
Okay, okay. I definitely get the sense of like it's a very cool spot to just even hang out. So that was awesome.
yeah, for sure. It's kind of like yeah,
Great.
we all hang out there whenever we go film weird documentaries. It's like kind of meet up there, and I mean Malvern's just kind of the location that we flock to.
All right. So if people want to join you on that next time that you're at Malvern, are you guys selling tickets or how's that working?
Yep. Follow Chris Case on Facebook. Find him or just check out the Malvern Manor Facebook page. And I'm about 100% certain that Chris is still selling tickets to that event. So hit him up, and it's going to be a good one. Elizabeth doesn't get out here this way very often. This is going to be like the one time she is here, with Ashley Godwin, and it's going to be
It's
a
quite
really
the lineup.
quite the lineup with a lot of knowledge in the field, and it's not going to happen in a month from now, or again and again and again. This is like a one-time shot.
Yeah, so definitely if you're anywhere close to Malvern, even if you're not close to Malvern, drive out there. You've got time to plan. You said it's October.
I believe October 19th. I might be wrong, but
Okay.
it's in October for sure.
All right. Well, everybody can find out from Chris Case. Definitely get yourselves over there. I actually got to see Elizabeth in May do a little talk, and she was fantastic. Super crazy, knowledgeable woman. It was awesome to listen to her. And of course, investigating with Johnny Hauser. I just told you guys we had a blast with him. So, Johnny, and you also have your series on VidiSpace, right?
Yep. Johnny Hauserverse, just me by myself in haunted locations, and I'm also doing a ton of just straight up documentaries with Josh Hurd, Chris Case, the whole gang, and those are all going on VidiSpace as well. So there's a lot brewing at the moment. So stay tuned, I guess.
We absolutely will. So I want to thank you again for coming on tonight, just doing a little bit of follow up on Malvern Manor. And I know I kind of asked you last minute, so it's so awesome of you. Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Let
absolutely.
you feel
And
free now.
yeah, tell
Have a
the
great
Ray.
night with corn.
What's that?
Oh,
Oh,
you have a compliment. We have Nathan Durbin saying, "Loving the beard."
oh,
Take
well, hey, this is made with unicorn tears. So from this guy right here.
Is that why you were throwing him across the room earlier, trying to get those
Yep.
tears going?
I, I,
Massage.
I bet I bet your Tennessee Wraith Chaser won't have a unicorn in his interview like I did. So
Oh, dang. Now I'm up against him.
I'll be seeing him. I think him and Chris are going to Malvern for an event.
All
So
right. Yeah, definitely hang with them. Those are some good guys.
oh yeah, I've
And
met
I'll talk
Chris.
beard.
Met Chris a ton of times. I love that dude to death. So any teammate of him is a friend of mine, and I will be bringing unicorns for the both of them.
I want to see pictures.
I will get the pictures for sure. And he's probably going to be like, "Who the heck is this creepy bearded guy giving me a unicorn?" Like that'll go down in his biggest "what the crap" moments ever.
Love it. All right, Johnny, you have a great night. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, guys. So that was just a small follow up we did with Johnny Hauser about our Malvern Manor. Up next, we are going to have the man of the hour, Doogie. But before we bring him on, I want to talk a little bit about our lockdown event coming up September 28th in Crown Point, Indiana on World's Largest Ghost Hunting Day. So for that, we do have some tickets left. Only a couple of left are for our dinner hour, which is 7 p.m. to midnight. It includes a dinner, a 3-hour tour, a Q&A hour with both Doogie and Rick Wade. But from now until midnight Sunday, we are having $15 off our brunch tickets. Now that's noon to 4, so you get a lunch, you get 2 hours of investigation, and you get an hour Q&A with Rick, Wade, and Doogie. So it's going to be an awesome event. It's just a quick little thing to do during the day for World's Largest Ghost Hunting Day. I highly recommend you come. So that's $15 off our tickets. Right now, they're currently sitting at $65. That'll bring you down to a $50 brunch ticket. So what is that? Okay, so for those of you that don't know, my series is produced by Aaron Schreiber, founder of SIC, and he's having some fun over there with the soundboard. Isn't that wonderful? I knew he was going to throw that in at some point. He loves himself too much. Anyway, so tickets are at thriller.events for the lockdown, $15 off with code LOCKDOWN for our brunch tickets. Now let's bring the big guy on. Let's bring on Doogie. All right, here he is, Doogie.
What's happening, girl? How you doing?
I'm awesome. How are you, man?
I can't complain. I just seen where Mr. Johnny Hauser was on. He had a unicorn. I've got a shark.
Oh,
Arr.
dang. So he's like, my next person coming up isn't going to have anything as cool as a unicorn. And then you show up with a shark.
You got
Oh,
that right. Arr.
that is awesome. All right, man. So many questions I want to ask you. But first, are you excited for lockdown?
Oh, I tell you what, I'm ecstatic for this thing. Like getting to go back to like a jail and being locked in there is just like, I mean, that's right up my alley. That's right in Duke's mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to go, locked and loaded.
All right, so that's actually something I want to talk to you about a little bit, Duke's Mine. I noticed that you have like this daily segment on Facebook where you're posting like these Duke's Minds thoughts, man, and they've been awesome for like me and my teammates will look at them and we get a lot of inspiration from you. What's up with that? How did you come up with that? And how do you keep coming up with that on a daily basis? Like so much positivity.
Well, it's just one of those things, it helps me get my day started. I started that probably back 2012, 2013, just throwing out hashtag Duke's Mind, trying to get some positivity out there because in this field, as you well know, and other people know, people get down, people talk about other people. It's always some kind of junk going on. Sometimes you just need a positive. Open up the Facebook, the Twitter, see something positive to get that day going right, and usually it makes your week go great.
Yeah, for sure. No, I've noticed that about you. You're a very, very positive person. When we got to investigate with you a little bit on you, like one on one out in Antioch back in May at our Hunt the Town event, you take a very different approach to investigating than a lot of investigators. I see so many people, especially on TV, that have like a very negative energy when they come into it. They're provoking, they're yelling, they're getting angry. And you try and have fun with it. You make jokes, you laugh around when you're doing EVPs. And I love that, man. So how did you take on that style?
It's one of those things, I got to thinking, I've seen a lot of investigators doing that, going provoking, come out and, get some of me and da 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 da. And a lot of times that doesn't really do anything. You're just sitting there, calling out something invisible and then it doesn't interact with you. Uh, the way I look at it is if this is people that's passed on, then they don't want to hear that kind of stuff. Just like we don't want to hear that kind of stuff. They want to say, how's your day going? Maybe they'll answer you back, or tell them a joke, corny joke, or just anything. I always talk about Scooby Doo underwear, beef jerky, cake, whatever stuff that I like that they may like. So, and I usually get a lot of interaction. Well, I think I got a lot of interaction with you when we were in the theater.
Yeah,
We
you were
had some
talking
really
about
cool
ghosts shaking
stuff.
their booty.
Exactly,
And that it was
exactly.
super memorable.
Yeah.
No, I remember
So
we
I
got a
mean,
lot of responses out of that. That was very impressive.
yeah. I mean, I figure if I want to shake my booty, the ghosts want to shake their booty too.
I feel you on that. I try and keep any type of like EVP sessions that I do super conversational because how many times have they like gotten the question, what year is it for you? And oh, you have a call out from Johnny Hauser. He wants to tell you, come at me, ghost. Are you gonna come at him, Doogie?
I got it.
Now you're
Hey,
all
I got you,
stuck
brother.
on him.
I'm bringing my shark too. We'll see how the
He
unicorn
did
fends.
He did mention that you guys are going to be teaming up here in a little bit. You'll be at Malvern Manor, you and Chris, and I know that Hauser is only like 45 minutes away, so he's definitely going to show up, and he's going to bring that
Oh,
unicorn.
that's cool. I mean, I don't know. That's the first I've heard of that. So maybe I'll be there. Hopefully, we'll see what's happening.
Yeah, I mean that would be cool to see you guys work together, though. I definitely noticed some similarities between you two with just that positive energy. Now, what do you think makes TWC so unique? I mean, you've got that positivity going for you, but what do you think the it factor is for your team that's made you blown up so much?
I think we're just different. We're just not the run of the mill investigators. We're old country boys from Tennessee. We do things kind of like how we want to do it. We don't try to just throw ourselves out there in the limelight and just try to do things just to get recognized. We just keep doing the same thing we've always done, and that seems to be working for us. I mean, being yourself. I mean, can't go wrong doing that.
That's actually funny that you said that because my producer over here, Aaron, when we were getting ready to talk about the show and what I was going to ask, I said I'm going to ask him what makes them unique, and he literally said it's because they're good old country boys. They're just down to
Yeah,
earth people, good people.
Yeah, that's it.
And
I mean, I know today I was out and some lady said something about being famous. I said I'm about as famous as a piece of bubble gum stuck on the ground over there. I said, I don't look at myself that way. None of the guys on the team, I don't guess, looks at themselves that way. It's just one of those things. You know, some people get up and go be a Walmart greeter. We get to hunt ghosts for a living. So I mean, it is what it is. We put our pants on the same most of the time. Unless I'm real happy, then I try to jump into them. But hey, it all works out in the end of the day.
that is awesome. See, usually when I'm jumping in my pants, it's because I don't fit into them anymore. So that's good to hear somebody's happy about jumping into them. So you've got this awesome team going. How do you make that work? I mean, because you guys do have unique personalities. You are different people. And I've noticed a lot with teams that try and run of more than like a couple people, you're going to run into conflict, you're going to run into disagreements. But every time I've ever seen you guys out, you work so well together. How does that keep going?
I mean, we all have our differences like anybody else, but when it comes to work time and when it comes to getting down to business, that's what we do. You leave. It's kind of like, I come up playing football. It's like, you go out and do your thing, you leave it on the field. Anything else, you don't bring in that negative with you. So if there's anything going down, you keep it in the group. Don't take it outside. I mean, everybody has their conflicts. It's just where you take it and where you want to spill it out.
All right. Oh, it looks like one of your fans is saying Bobby Starter. Oh, it's actually going to be Chris and Mike at Malvern. Oh, so Hauser was
Yeah.
wrong. Okay, so I'm going to need you to give the shark to Chris and Mike so that they can then compete against Hauser with his unicorn. Just make
Oh
sure
no,
that
they got to
happens,
get
okay?
they
Protection.
got they got to get they got to get their own shark. This is mine. This is my buddy. I've got his tank right downstairs. I just took him out for a little bit because he's my buddy.
That is awesome, man. That is awesome. So, a couple of things about like your investigations that you've done. We had a question from Missy Martin Bryant. She wants to know what is your favorite location and why.
Oh man, I've got a scroll of favorite locations. I mean, I don't think I just have one that.
Okay,
Uh,
most recent favorite location.
Most recent, I would have to say definitely the Palace Theater over in Hawaii. That place, I had some amazing activity go on. Uh, that I would have to say that just pops out in my brain right now. Definitely Hawaii. Not only just because it has beaches, of course, but the activity over there, the lava tubes, the Palace Theater. I mean, that place was just absolutely amazing to be on. That island has a different kind of feel to it. I mean, as soon as you get over there and you start talking to the people, you start feeling the island vibe. It's just a whole different ball game over there.
All right, so I've actually seen you promoting some stuff with the Palace Theater. Can you give me a little bit of history on that?
Yeah, the
I've
Palace
never.
Theater Yeah, the Palace Theater here in our hometown, it was built a long time ago. It started in the early 1900s, and it's still it's the only still up and running silent theater in Gallatin, Tennessee. So in the state of Tennessee, from what I've been told,
Good group
and
of
it goes
people.
back just what's that?
I think that my producer's pressing random buttons again. You can keep going. Just ignore him.
Uh,
Pretend he doesn't exist. You can't see him. He's not there, right? Oh, wait. That's our job to find the things that don't exist. Okay.
Yeah, but the roots run deep here in Gallatin. The Roths, who actually owned it, had the jewelry store, had the theater that he put together for his daughter to run. Um, the whole thing is just a really cool vibe there. It's a really cool place. Very strange things going on there. We did it on Haunted Live, and now we're taking people on the journey this weekend to uh, to see what's on the other side. See if the theater still has more stories to tell.
Now, aren't you from close by there? You are from Gatlinburg, right?
No, Gallatin, Tennessee.
Oh, Gallatin. Gallatin. Okay. I thought you said
Yeah.
Gatlinburg.
No, I have an event in Gatlinburg coming up. Yes, but yeah,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm
Well,
from I'm from
slide
Gallatin,
up. Like,
Tennessee. Yeah, we're just hitting the
okay.
whole thing. It's good.
All right. So that's got to be cool, though, to be able to be somewhat close to home when doing an event like that. That's
Oh
not
yeah,
too
it's
far from.
definitely. Yeah, it definitely beats being on the road. I mean, being gone every single weekend, usually Thursday through Sunday or Monday, you know, it's nice just to be home, for a little bit. And I've been able to do that for, well, this week and next week. I've got another event here in our hometown at Rosemont, again, for Paranormal Kicks Cancer. And we got some kids coming in that we're going to do some really cool stuff with. So I'm really excited about that, too.
Awesome. Awesome. We'll definitely have to make sure that we mention that at least a few more times because that's for such a good cause. That's really cool, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, so I do have to ask. I mean, you are busier than the normal paranormal investigator. You've got your show, you've got all these events that you do. How do you balance that work home life thing? I mean, that's got to be a little difficult for you. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
because
mean, it is. I mean, it's rough that the family works during the week, and I'm usually home trying to get everything prepared for the weekend, because I call the weekend warrior, Thursday through Sunday, and you know, it's it's a team effort, especially with my wife and then my son. But my son, he's up older now, so he's too cool for the parents anymore. He's got his girlfriend, all that kind of stuff. So that makes it a little bit easier. But you know, you just have to balance. It's like anybody that has a job. You go do your job to pay the light bill and you know keep some socks on mama's feet and just do what you got to do.
all right, so what is the scariest thing that you've seen in hunting ghosts? And that's from Rhonda K. O'Driscoll. Another little
Hey,
fan
that's a
question
cool.
there.
Driscoll. I like that. Um,
O'Driscoll. Hope that I really
that
hope that's actually how you pronounce it, Rhonda. I'm sorry if it's not.
uh, I don't know. One of the scariest things that I've ever seen, I would have to say, the creeper at Waverly Hills. Brandon and I were up on the third floor there, and yeah, I didn't believe the creeper was real. I just thought it was supposed to be manifested over the years. And all of a sudden, this thing starts coming down the hallway. It looked like a centipede with human arms, and it just started coming at us and got within probably 7 to 10 feet. And then it just went through the floor, kind of went around in the room and went through the floor. Craziest thing I ever seen. And that was the closest I ever got to that little drop of pee coming out.
Oh God. I mean, you've come close, but you haven't gotten there yet. So you're gonna have to see something scarier for the next time I have you on. Okay, work on
Oh,
that
of
for me.
course,
Get us more
of
scared next
course,
time.
yeah.
So speaking of places that
Yeah.
you've been, now you were the last team to actually investigate a certain building at Peoria State Hospital, and you guys knew that you were the last team. How did you handle? Like, how did you go in with that mindset of knowing that you would be the last ones to be able to really collect evidence from that building? I went there after it was torn down, and we went out to the site, but I don't think we really got much of anything.
Yeah, they told us, I don't know if anybody else got to go in there after us, but we were told we were the last ones that were going to be able to go into the building and investigate because it's going to get torn down. And it was one of those things that we tried to get as much intel about the place as we could, go in there and be able to call out to whatever was there. Because at the time we were actually doing transportation devices, Ed and Peoria, that's when we were doing Ghost Asylum. And
Mhm.
we were giving them that last option before this place was torn down to actually get outside those walls if they were trapped. And we had some amazing evidence. We were using, I'm trying to think of the Utica cage, and
Yeah.
that thing, we experienced some really crazy stuff there, and hopefully that transportation device gave them the option to go with us when we walked outside those walls and to set them free. And now whatever's there is free from those walls because now they're torn down. Which was a shame because a lot of those patients called that home for so long and they didn't know anything different. So but it was great. We had our mindset of giving them an option to leave before the destruction came.
Yeah, that's actually you managed to turn paranormal investigating into an altruistic thing. So, props to you. That is fantastic, man. So,
Yeah,
you feel like
thanks.
you're a little bit successful in that. That's awesome to know that somebody went in there with that mindset instead of trying to just collect a bunch of evidence to actually help, you know, the spirits understand that hey, this isn't going to be here anymore. So that's really cool. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, while I'm thinking of it, we want to wish from SIC to Sylvia Schultz a very happy birthday. Sylvia Schultz is probably the premier expert of Peoria State Hospital. I love everything that she's done with that, all of the books that she's written. So happy birthday to her. I just remembered it's her birthday, so I got to do that.
Yeah. Shout
So
it out.
for sure, for sure. One more shout out we have from Jess Askew. She says that she is your best friend now. I don't know if you remember her. She was at Hunt the Town, short little thing, was stalking you the
Little,
entire time. I
yeah.
have a corner if you need it for Crown Point. And he says, or she says, it's my best friend. Yep, that's Jess.
That's my best friend. Yes, I do remember her. Yeah, she's cool. I meet some of the coolest people doing this, and she was always hanging out. She's like, "Hey, what's up? What's up?"
Yeah, she's fearless. She'll walk up to anybody. All right, so we got a cool question from Scott Musial. Do you prefer investigating at night or during the day?
I enjoy both. Um, the reason being, you get different evidence at different times. And actually, I know if you go back on some of my social media, I mean, you have to go back a long time, and I can post pictures about it. But caught some of my best evidence during daytime, especially at Old South Pittsburgh Hospital in Tennessee. That's one of the first places that I've caught full-bodied apparitions during the daytime, and, and then I caught the same thing at night, which is absolutely crazy. So I like doing both. It's one of those things that gives you a different version, different spectrums of light. So, I mean, you get
Ooh,
the
you were
best
breaking up a little
both
bit there.
worlds. What's that?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit there. Connection's getting a little
Uh,
wonky.
see,
So, but I think I
can you
heard
hear me
you
now?
right. Now I can. I think I heard you
Okay.
right in saying that you caught a full body apparition during the day, and that's pretty unique. That is
Yeah,
really
caught
unique,
one
right?
during the day and during the night. In the same thing. I was actually trying to debunk what I caught at night during the day, and then caught more evidence for bodied apparitions. It was just really unexplainable to me, but that just gives you the different variety. It's never the wrong time to investigate.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely get that. We've gone on a couple different investigations now where some of the best evidence we got during broad daylight. We've repeatedly returned to Genesee Theater in Waukegan, Illinois, and each time we do, we seem to have really awesome positive results during the daytime. And it's a lot more positive evidence that we're collecting, and not so much negative energy. And during the nighttime, we'll get some evidence, but that tends to be a little bit darker. So it's just really interesting to see the way that the energy is kind of splitting and how much we're collecting between both. Um,
Right.
so that being said, I know that you guys are doing the show now, Haunted Towns, and I want to talk a little bit about that. Why do you think that these towns are haunted? Because I was talking with Hauser and Hurd out at Malvern Manor. It's a tiny little town in the middle of nowhere, Iowa, and we've got multiple places reporting hauntings now. But you guys are going to
You know,
multiple towns seeing this phenomenon.
right. Well, the thing about it is each town has its own story. Each town has had different things, but similar things happen. You've had the slavery days, you had the wild West days, you had all this stuff that had tragedy involved, and it was almost on all the grounds that these towns were built on. The gambling, the working women, all this kind of stuff going on. The wild guys going in shooting their pistols, all this kind of stuff. I mean, you have this history in all the towns that I think just seeps in the ground there. It seeps into the walls of these old buildings, and it just stays there. It's like a reoccurring energy that just keeps bouncing from place to place. And people explain in these towns sometimes that the same thing that people are experiencing 2 blocks down the street, and they're seeing the same kind of apparition, and sometimes they describe the very exact same apparition. So you know I think it just all has to do with history and what happened on the grounds. And I think every town, every state, they have their own story to tell in each little town.
Yeah, no, for sure. I've actually been talking to Aaron Shriver a little bit about this. Just earlier today, we were doing a car ride going up to an awesome location to check out a little bit. And we were talking about how it seems to be that the land is holding the hauntings and the land is holding the energy. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the building itself. But a lot of the times we'll see that these hauntings are predating even the existence of the current structure that's there.
Correct.
I think one of the things he said is you rarely see a Nike sneakers on a ghost. So, I mean, you're seeing them in like 1800s clothing and stuff like that. You're not seeing a modern day haunting usually.
Right. Well, as the days progressed, from back when things were so archaic and barbaric in some cases, that you didn't have as much of that violence. As Nikes became, the thing to wear, the less the violence was. You know what I'm saying? The
Oh,
days
that's your
of
theory?
violence.
Nike's brought world peace.
That's well, I'm not
You're
saying
gonna
that,
get
but
sponsored out of that.
but I'm
Next
saying, there's
episode of
some.
Haunted Towns. Everybody's got Jordans.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the thing, I mean, a lot of your wars and stuff that happened were back during boot wearing days, and people wearing suits when it was 7,000 degrees outside, because there was no air conditioning, that kind of thing. So, I think as the years progressed, the less violence got, the less, wars, in the mining towns and all that kind of stuff. I mean, just the less that stuff got, and I think some people today experience, I guess what you would say, a newer haunting. You see
Okay.
these people talking about seeing, their brother that's passed away, this, that and other. But most of the time, the investigations that you do see are old hospitals or old mining towns and that kind of thing. So I think that's where that comes in, and a lot of Civil War stuff. You're always, especially in the South, you're always seeing that kind of thing. So I think that's you see most of the evidence instead of seeing more residential, hauntings that's going on.
All right. So we got a question from Angela Sanders. What was the most haunted town that you guys have done so far?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know. That's a hard one for you guys because you seem to get
I
a
mean,
lot.
yeah, we've been to so many, and I had to say that the craziest place was Salem, Mass.
Yeah.
We were up there investigating the witch trials, and the stuff we got there was absolutely insane. I was up in an attic of the Thomas Barnard house, if I remember right. I've been to so many places that kind of run together, but I remember being up there and seeing this dark mass coming at me, and I think they said, like, I asked who was there, and it was like devil or Satan, and I'm like, this is not a good place to be, in the middle of that, by myself in the dark, and Satan or the devil is here. But that place, I have to say, Salem was one of the most haunted towns I've ever been in.
I'm going to level with you. If anything came up and said that it was the devil or Satan, I might take like a 10-minute breather outside of the building.
Well, the thing
I don't know
about
if
it,
I'd want to
that
like.
my only exit was walking towards it, so I thought I would just take my chances being in the seat for a minute.
Oh, yeah, see, that's fair. That's fair. I can level with you on that. I wouldn't want to have to walk possibly through that. But
Exactly.
it goes back to what you said with the violence kind of being a little bit more harsh back then as well. Somewhere like Salem, where they had all of those witch trials. So we got another question: have you ever run out of a house due to a spirit interaction? Have you? That's a great question because I just said I would probably leave if somebody told me that it was the devil. Have you ever had that situation where you've been like, "Nope, I'm out"?
Um, not really in that aspect of saying, nah, I'm done. I'm getting out of here. Now I've had a few times where I've gotten sick, like I've been touched, or had some kind of infection, and I've gotten sick. I know that happened to me at Sloss Furnace, uh, in Alabama, and that also happened to a residential case. Right as we were starting TV, I was in a house that a lady that I worked with asked me to come in, and I had the guys up there, and we actually put out the video evidence. You could see me in the house, and my pullover gets tugged, and it wasn't just a few minutes after that. I didn't even know it hadn't tugged. But a few minutes after that, I didn't feel well, and then I was up there puking. So, you know, those kind of things I've gotten out, because just the interaction just made me so sick. I had to get out.
Okay. So I gotta ask you. Oh, we've got a great question from Jillian Danette Shriver. Have you ever felt like you brought anything home with you after an investigation? Now, I will say that Jillian is Aaron's wife, so I think she's trying to make a point here to Aaron. So, have you ever brought anything home with you, Doogie?
So Aaron, should I save grace here and say no?
I think he's. Oh yeah,
Uh,
no, he's not. You gonna make a comment, Aaron?
It depends on how you answer this. If I'm gonna have a home to live in.
no, absolutely not. I've never had anything follow me home. It's all just peaches and cream here.
Doogie, you're being a friend right now.
You got it, man. No, there's been a few times I've had some things follow me home. Really nothing bad. Most of the time, I had a closet light up when we didn't have a light in the closet. Stuff set on the end of the bed. The wife kind of look at me like, I told you, you know, that kind of stuff. But if you don't pay it any attention, you kind of okay, it happened, that's it. But nothing bad. If you don't feed into it, if it does follow you home, then it's like anything else. You don't pay attention, it's going to leave at some point. It's going to get tired of not having that attention. So you can feed it as much as you want or as less as you want.
All right. So I've got a question. Now, you guys do a lot of public events. You make a lot of public experiences or appearances. Oh my God, I can't talk. Appearances. Oh, Jill says that you know me too well. Jill, I knew that you were going to try and prove a point. It's okay. You know what? But Aaron is in control of the questions right now, so he chose to put himself in that situation. All right, so Doogie, you guys do a lot of these public appearances. I have to kind of think that you enjoy them. What makes you guys want to come out and investigate with all of these people that watch you on TV and come to such big public locations like every single weekend? You're always
Oh,
somewhere.
yeah. Well, what's so cool about it is you meet all these new people, and and a lot of people are like, "You're the experts. You're the We're not the experts. We have a style that we like to do things, but every week, I meet somebody new. They say a question that I was like, I never thought about putting it that way. You can learn from everybody in this field. Yeah, granted, there's some you run into people like that. That's in whatever you do. It don't matter what field you're in. But most of the time I learn something new every week from someone. A different technique or something that I didn't think of. I didn't think about implementing a piece of equipment that way. I just enjoy meeting the people and learning from them.
Oh my God. I'm going to take the
Does that mean?
soundboard away from him at some point and I'm going to beat him over the head with it. Probably
Does it
shouldn't have
mean?
said that on Facebook. I'm going to jail later. Anyways. Sorry, Aaron made a sound effect that you cannot hear, probably, more
Oh
than like.
no, I definitely heard it. I thought
Oh,
we
he
were going
heard it!
into yeah.
Yes! Oh, it worked! It's good because there's something coming up that you're going to need to hear. All right. So actually, let's do that. Doogie, I want you to tell me a little bit about this next thing that we're going to play for you. And I'm going to need some background on it, and I think you're going to know exactly what it is. Aaron, hit it.
Once had a little kid, his name was Monkey.
We might have been on YouTube earlier.
Oh my gosh, you're taking it back. Old school, old school.
Monkey, 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 I love
I
you.
love you.
With my wife, we'll go downtown with you.
Downtown with you.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what did I find, Doogie? What is that?
Sometimes, especially back when the kids were younger, I like to play the guitar and fiddle around a little bit. And we're just all kicking back. I think it was Chasey Ray, Chris, and I, my son, and Andrew's kid. We're all just sitting down, which is my office now. It used to be the living room, but we're just sitting there goofing around, and I always make up goofy songs and just whatever. I like to do silly stuff. That's another thing that's inside Duke's mind all the time. It's the reason why I'm about half crazy because that's the kind of stuff that messes around up in there. But I just
All
like to have
right.
a good time. I'm silly.
Song. When are we going to get that on record? I want to know when album distribution day is.
Oh,
I'm going to need that.
Album is supposed to drop October of 2020. Be there, Doug's Mile World Tour. I mean, it's going to be a
I'm wanting
blast,
you to
guys.
I want you to know.
Hey, I'm telling you, 2020, Doug's Mile Tour is coming, and I'm going to be playing the Monkey song for all of America.
Oh God, I'm so glad we found that clip. You have no idea.
You had
Made
to
my
go way
night.
back for the. You had to go way back for that one. That was way back in
We
the
have
the.
way too much free time on our hands. Like a ridiculous amount right now.
Apparently, I had a
All right.
lot then too.
You had a lot of something.
Hey, that was totally sober.
I didn't say it, you did.
Yeah, totally sober.
All right, so I have a possible challenge for you, and I want to know if
Oh,
you're going to accept. We have this thing that we like to do called the hot seat. I'm going to give
okay.
you a full minute, and I'm going to run through 10 questions, and I want you to answer with whatever's coming into your head. Now, these questions are going to get progressively a little bit harder. It's not anything like math, it's more just like your opinions or your thoughts or your feelings. And it's going to end on a pretty hard note. Do you think you're ready, Doogie?
Uh, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Welcome to the hot seat, Doogie. All right, so I'm going to set my timer here, and we are going to start. So, Doogie, you are trapped on an island. Which teammate are you bringing with you?
Brandon,
All right, biggest pet peeve on an investigation.
noise.
All right, who has better cooking, your mom or your wife?
My mom.
If you can investigate anywhere with anyone, where would it be and who?
Probably a McDougall Castle in Scotland with Brandon.
All right, biggest TWC ego.
Oh, it's hard. That's hard to say. There's a lot of egos on TWC. We'll go with Mike.
Okay, biggest TWC diva.
Chris.
All right, have you had any stalker fans?
Yes.
All right. We got a couple more here. You did not make the minute, but I'm going to go through them just because they're really good. What is your guilty pleasure song?
Um, 1965 by Rob Zombie.
That's a good one. All right. What's your spirit animal?
Shark.
Nice. All right. This last one. This is the hard one. A puppy and a kitten are hanging off a cliff. You can only save one. Who do you pick?
Oh, that is so not a cool question.
All right. You're going to pass on that one. I'll let you
Yeah,
pass.
I
You made
would
it to
have
number
to say
7, though.
both.
You made it to 7 questions. So thank you for playing Hot Seat. That was awesome. So we are gonna go ahead and just to do a couple of like promotions here. So we got Lockdown coming up with you September 28th in Crown Point, Indiana. We have some brunch tickets left. We do have that promo code running right now. $15 off of brunch. That will be bringing it down to $50. Just use the code lockdown when you go to thriller.events. So we got you and Rick Wade coming out. That's going to be a good time.
Yeah. I did a live with Rick here the other day. Cool guy, man. I'm really digging that guy. He's really cool.
Yeah, no, he's a lot of fun to work with. I know Rick Wade is also going to be doing some readings while we're there, and then we're going to do that lunch hour, so everybody's going to get fed if they come. We're going to have an hour Q&A, bit of a meet and greet style, and then we're also going to have those couple hours of investigating the Crown Point jail out there. And I know you said you're looking forward to being back in a jail.
Oh yeah, for sure. I've been to a few places, here recently, and I haven't been in a jail in a while, and I really, I kind of dig that vibe in there sometimes. It's just a little different. It's cold, dark, creepy. Got bars. Sometimes you just need that in your life.
All right then. Anything else for you, Doogie? I know you've got a ton of events coming up. Anything else that you want to promote or plug besides our wonderful lockdown event?
Oh, hey, everybody come to the lockdown. It's going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to hanging with Rick Wade, hanging with you guys again. I loved you guys when I was up there. I mean, everybody I met was just totally great people. Loved it. It's my kind of people. But but yeah, I got a few events coming up. I got one in Gatlinburg in October. I got another one coming up in Indiana. I think Warsaw. Um, Paracon. I'm just all over. I'm going to be in Indiana, Ohio, just all kinds of places. So definitely get out there
Basically,
and
just
get your
pop in any
tickets.
random small town. There'll probably be Doogie there.
Exactly. Yeah, you'll walk into the country store and eating a biscuit with Ted. We're just discussing the day.
All right, that is awesome. So we are so thankful for you for doing this tonight. So thankful that you are coming out to Crown Point. Cannot wait to work with you again, man. You are so much fun. All right, we're gonna let you go free for
Oh,
the
thank
night
you, guys.
now. Go
All
cuddle with
right,
your
thank you,
shark for me.
guys. Oh, of course. He says bye.
Bye. All right, guys. So that was an awesome interview with Doogie. He is so much fun. So, like we said, we got Crown Point coming up with him and Rick Wade. So definitely, if you haven't bought tickets yet to that, our dinner tickets are almost sold out, and those include a full extra hour of investigation. So definitely get on those while you can. Our dinner's almost sold out. Brunch has still got some tickets, and we've got that code going through Sunday midnight, $15 off lockdown. Now, SIC does have some other events coming up right now in the next few months. October 18th, we're going to be returning to our beloved Tennessee Theater. As some of you may know out there in the paranormal world, Amy Bruni and Adam Berry of Kindred Spirits are touring right now and doing some presentations at a bunch of different theaters, and they are coming to the Genesee. They'll be there Friday, October 18th at 8 p.m. Now, if you do decide to go and get their VIP meet and greet package, you'll get to not only meet Amy and Adam, but you'll get to investigate with SIC. We've been doing investigations at the theater now for a good couple of years, and we'll be doing a group before the show and a group after the show, investigating the theater as we normally would. We'll have some of our equipment. We'll have almost all of our team there, a bunch of friends of SIC. We'll take you through all of the theater that we possibly can, show you all the hot spots, tell you all the history and why we love the Genesee Theater. So if you're a fan of Kindred Spirits or you're a fan of SIC, there's reason to come out on that day for sure. You can go to the Genesee Theater's website. There's links and information there as well for tickets. I believe they're also on Ticketmaster now. So definitely take a look at that for Kindred Spirits. Now, next week, I am going to be doing another Afterlife with Annley Lucas, and I'm going to have a super special guest, our second guest of lockdown. We have Rick Wade. So that's going to be Friday, September 6th, 8 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to have Rick Wade on. We'll be talking a little bit about his excitement for Crown Point, what he does, because he is not only just an investigator, he's also a seer. And that's going to be a really awesome time with him as well. I mean, you just heard it from Doogie. It was a lot of fun to talk for Doogie with him. It's going to be a lot of fun for me to get to talk with Rick too. So, just one final reminder about that code. We've got it until midnight Sunday for lockdown tickets for brunch. That's $15 off. It takes it from $65 down to $50, and that gets you a meal. It gets you a Q&A with Doogie and Rick, and it gets you 2 hours of investigating the Crown Point Jail, which is a phenomenal location. We actually held our world's largest ghost hunt investigation there last year, and we loved it so much that we knew that night that we were going to be returning this year, and I booked it the moment I could. This place is awesome for activity. It's awesome for history. So I highly, highly recommend that if you've got no plans yet for World's Largest Ghost Hunting Day, that you come join us in Crown Point, Indiana. All of our tickets are at thriller.events, so definitely take advantage of that. We're going to get wrapping up here for tonight. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you again in 1 week.